Hello everyone, it's great to be back. The IPL is here. Yes, so is COVID, so is lockdown. But the good thing is the IPL is being played in India, the home of IPL, and it's great to be back. Let's have a lot of energies, and of course, let's ensure that each one of us stays safe, takes necessary precautions. So let's get down straight to the point. The opening clash of the IPL, it's a big game. What's so special about this IPL? Unlike previous IPLs played in India, obviously, number one, we don't have any spectators. Number two, there are going to be biosecure bubbles like how it was last year. And number three, no team has a home advantage. So there's a caravan model wherein currently the five venues that they've shortlisted are Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, then they play at Ahmedabad. There's also another venue in Bangalore and a standby venue in Hyderabad in case there's a COVID spike anywhere. So that's how the IPL schedule is this year. So teams have to move within bubbles, amongst bubbles. It's all very carefully planned and hope to say, fingers crossed, that it goes well because IPL brings in a lot of happiness to us. So let's get down to what is special about today's clash. It's the heavyweight Mumbai Indians, the two-time defending champions, five-time IPL champions taking on the Royal Challengers of Bangalore. Technically, this is a home game for Mumbai. It's going to be played at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium at Chepauk. So the good sign is both teams have abundant amount of players. Both teams have been smart enough in the auctions. Now let's see how each of these teams stack up and then look at what their lineups could be. So let's look at the Mumbai Indians in the first place. So looking about Mumbai Indians, well, five-time defending champion. Anyone they're sleeping, you just wake them up and ask them to tell them the 11 of the Mumbai Indians, they'll be able to just rattle out names. This is a settled team, a settled lineup. They didn't let go of many players. Yes, there was James Pattinson who was left out. A few of the under-19 champs who were left out. They got in a few good picks. Someone like a Marco Janssen coming in. They had someone like a player of the caliber of Arjun Tendulkar, a local lad. Yes, the Tendulkar factor. They picked him up. They got in a few more players. But the good thing is their core is always the same. So how do they work out? The latest news out there is that Quinton de Kock can't play the first game because of quarantine. So I'm guessing Chris Lynn replacing him there. They do have an option of getting Ishan Kishan there. But just to get their batting sorted, I feel instead of Quinton de Kock, they might have a Chris Lynn and Rohit Sharma with Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan forming the top four. Both of these players have been tremendous for India in the last 4-5 months as well. They've made their debuts. And following that is where they've got their 3 KP factor. You've got a Kieron Pollard, you've got a Hardik Pandya, you've got a Krunal Pandya. So this makes it a formidable top 7. You can call them a side that is going to be on destruction mode right from ball 1. And following that, this is where they can possibly look at combinations because they're playing in Chennai. They might be tempted to use a Jayant Yadav who's an off spinner, but the RCB top order has only one left-hander in Devdutt Padikkal. So they might either use him or they can get in Nathan Coulter-Nile. I'll go for Coulter-Nile there. Along with that, you've got Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt and Rahul Chahar. Rahul Chahar, a solid leg spinner, has got a good record against likes of Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. So this is what I feel is going to be the main 11 for Mumbai Indians. So here is the Mumbai Indians main 11 for today. And now we are going to look at the RCB. They've been runners-up here every year. Again, as always, there's an expectation from the RCB fans. Last year was good. They managed to qualify for the playoffs. They had a good start, then they tapered. This year, RCB is perhaps one of the richest in terms of players acquired in the auction. They went for big buys. They broke the banks for Kyle Jamieson. They broke the bank for Glenn Maxwell. Like 2 players, they cumulatively, I think, shelled out about 30-31 crore rupees of money. So that's a pretty huge sum of money. They've invested in these 2 players purely from an all-round perspective. It's interesting to see, given that they still haven't addressed their death bowling. That's one area that RCB has always struggled. The good thing for RCB is they're playing against Mumbai, who've not won the first match in the last 8 seasons. From 2013 till 2020, Mumbai has always lost their first match. So there is some kind of a jinx. Who's going to blink first is again going to be very heartening to see in today's game in a few hours' time. But how does RCB look overall? What do they get out in this first game? Who are going to play? I somewhere feel that the good move that they've done even before the IPL began was getting Virat Kohli to open. Mind you, Virat Kohli opening in T20s, he's got 4 centuries. He had a wonderful stint in 2016, scored about 973 runs. I think that can never be crossed. If there's one player who can cross it, it's possibly only Kohli himself. So Kohli coming in at number 1, you've got Devdutt Padikkal at number 2. A left hand right hand combination works well. Padikkal has been in great touch across the SM80 trophy as well as the Vijay Hazare trophy. At number 3, I think this is one place where they can empower one of the youngsters. It's a toss-up between a Rajat Patidar, who's played very well, or a Mohammad Azharuddin, who's been in exceptional form. One of these two. Mohammad Azharuddin purely because he's a wicket keeper, so he might just reduce the load of AB de Villiers. So Mohammad Azharuddin coming in at number 3. Number 4 and number 5, it's AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell. You've got to play Maxwell there. Maxwell's role has to be dynamic. Suppose RCB get off to a good start, 10 overs time they've just lost their first wicket, get Maxwell in just to take the game away. Otherwise, you've got ABD coming in there and then doing his usual role of playing in right through. And then after number 4, number 5, number 6 and number 7, they've picked up Daniel Christian. He's a veteran in T20s, has been part of 10 champion squads across T20 formats across the globe. So Daniel Christian coming in at number 5. And then at number 6, it's a toss-up again. You've got to look at whom to fit in, how and where. That's something it's a slightly tricky thing for them. But I would say that this is where it's better for them to have a Kyle Jamieson, because Kyle Jamieson, again, he's a good batsman. He's untested in Indian conditions. He's had a good series. He's had a good record for New Zealand back home. He's coming off some good achievements also. So Kyle Jamieson coming in there would sort of give them the top 6 that's needed, and also a finishing capability that he brings along. Then you've got the bowlers and the partial batters. Like, to put it this way, you've got Washington Sundar. He's grown from strength to strength. Washington Sundar against a Rohit Sharma, a Quinton de Kock, a Chris Lynn. Mind you, Chennai has longer boundaries on the mid-wicket and the deep extra cover side. So to loft him down that line is going to be pretty difficult. And then you've got Yuzvendra Chahal, a classic leg spinner, an attacking leg spinner, has been trained well at Chinnaswamy. He liked to play at Chennai because the boundaries are larger. And then the pace attack, it's slightly weak. I won't say it's weaker. The only problem is they tend to leak runs at a death. So that's where a Navdeep Saini and a Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj is coming off some excellent contributions to the Indian side in the red ball series in Australia. If he can carry on that momentum into the T20s, adjust his lengths and line, then I'm pretty sure he's going to be a handful. Navdeep Saini's raw pace is going to be extremely important. All in all, looks a good side as always, RCB, but they're up for a huge challenge when they're going to face MI. I fancy the Mumbai Indians to win this and break their 8-year jinx of not winning a first game.